Hi, I'm Lee. I'm 44 years old, which means I'm officially old enough to give advice and young enough to still not be sure what I'm doing. 2 years ago, I lost my last full-time job, and my life stopped moving the way I had carefully imagined it would. Since then, most of my days have been spent very close to home, closer than I ever planned. I've been married for 12 years. I have an 11-year-old son. Somewhere along the way, I became the person who prepares breakfast, checks homework, and starts thinking about dinner before lunch is even finished. This wasn't a plan. It's just where I landed. When I was younger, I thought my 40s would feel settled. More answers, fewer open tabs in my head. Instead, it feels like standing in the middle of a bridge, not quite where I was, and not sure where I'm going next, and slightly embarrassed that I don't have a better explanation. 2 years ago, I was living in a mega city in China. I had what people call a good position, a title that sounded impressive, a schedule that kept me busy from morning to night. Then, I lost my full-time job. Around the same time, my father was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer. So my family and I moved back to my hometown, a small city, quiet, slow, the kind of place I once thought I had already outgrown. These days, I teach English part-time. My wife and I run a small online business together. That's how we make a living. My calendar looks very different now. There used to be meetings, deadlines, performance reviews. Now, it's hospital checks-up with my father, school mornings with my son, making sure everyone gets where they need to be. Somewhere in the middle of all this, I realized something simple. I wasn't young anymore. I wouldn't say I'm unhappy, but I wouldn't say I feel certain either. There's a quiet kind of uncertainty that comes with responsibility. You don't panic. You don't fall apart. You just learn how to carry it. What surprised me most wasn't the change itself. It was how quietly it happened. No announcement, no clear turning point. One day, you just realize your life looks different from the one you used to describe. So I started filming what I say around me, not to make my life look interesting, and definitely not to turn it into a success story. Mostly to remind myself that it's still happening. Streets, people, moments that don't ask for attention. Sometimes, I think this stage of life isn't talked about very much. You're needed. You're responsible. But you are also quietly asking questions. Usually late at night, when everyone else is asleep. I believe that somewhere in the world, there's someone watching this. Also feeling uncertain, also trying to understand what this part of life is asking from them. Not because something went wrong, but because this is simply where they are. Different places, different routines, but similar questions.